Welcome to Biscuits and Tea with JP. I've got Anne Lee with me here, who is a virtual assistant. She's going to be discussing her service and how she helps clients and the problems that she solves. But before we get to that, we're going to talk about biscuits and tea. So I'll go first. Gold, and I like it builder strength.
And I don't drink tea or coffee, as if those who follow my post know, I'm not a hot tea drinker. Right. So I've got the next best thing, which is a strawberry milkshake from any good fast food restaurant.
I love that. Do you know what? It wouldn't have been right if you had a cup of tea, to be honest.
I know.
I'm sure.
A cup of tea is not my style.
I'm sure you're not going to let me down on the biscuit.
No.
How are you? So
right.
I've got a Marks and Spencer's cookie, which is almond and pistachio.
And I've got McVitie's, a whole box, because I just don't do one biscuit.
Okay. All right. Well, let's. Well, cheers then. I'm gonna have a little dunk. So okay. If we start then with what it is exactly that you do, that'd be great. Over to you.
Okay, so I am not just a VA, well, I'm part-time VA, full-time mum. I've got 3 young kids. So as I think most of you know, if you follow my posts, I basically started my VA business because my brains were turning to mush being a full-time mom for quite a long time, and I wanted to find something that I could do that was flexible around my kids, and basically in the future a business that is sustainable, that I can contribute to all the household things. So that's ultimately my aim. So I help anyone basically who needs support. So you don't have to be a business, you can be an individual, you can be someone who just needs some support in an area of their business if you're a one-person band. So someone who just needs support to grow their business, someone who needs support to kind of tidy up some areas of their business that just needs a bit of logical thinking, someone who, I don't know, maybe needs a lot of research into a book that they're writing, some research into a companies that they can market it to. So I'm that kind of right-hand person, if you like, who will do the bits that a business owner, whether they have they're a solo person or has a few employees, that free up their time to kind of let them go off and do what they need to do to grow their business or take their business into a direction that they want to do, because every successful business needs some kind of support. Yeah,
no, I totally agree with that. So I know that prior to having children, you worked in HR, didn't you?
Yes, I did. So I come from the charity sector, so I've worked all my life in the charity sector, and I have a HR background. So I spent many of years working in the HR department, and probably people wishing us to die because they hate HR people and HR departments, because anyone walking down this corridor, they're like, uh-oh, the HR people are coming to get you. But so they were fun times, but they were hard times. But at this point in my life, I just wanted to do something that was fulfilling but fun, but not too much that I have to spend all my brain cells working on something. So I just wanted to find something I was good at and enjoyed doing, and that was more important to me. So maybe in the future I'll go back into HR. We never know, but for now, this is what I want to do.
Did you find though that a lot of the stuff that you did whilst you did work in HR, you've kind of been able to utilize that experience and those skills?
Yeah, definitely. I always my sister's always on call to me. I've talked to the HR department, but I don't think she made the right decision. What do you think I should say to her? So I'm always the person saying, okay, go back to your boss or your HR woman, and this is the case forward to this is the point you have to put forward, etc., etc. So and then I'm also associate role as well, so I work for another VA, and so I'm their internal HR person, so I do all their kind of CV filtering inbox, recruitment inbox, looking after that.
Oh, okay.
Well, so sometimes I issue contracts to any internal people that they employ. So if there's the client, for example, that needs like a secondment letter or whatever, then they'll give me a shout and then I'll write those bits for them. So I don't do big projects because that requires a lot of time. But anything small, I kind of still dip my fingers into HR. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay. And then in terms of your availability then on a weekly basis, how many hours do you like to work? You know, if someone wanted to take you on and, you know, give you a big chunk of work, how many hours would you say that you'd be happy to commit to on a weekly basis?
I think at the moment, I'm averaging on about 10 hours, 15 hours a week. Yeah. I could probably push it up to 20, but it has to be fully flexible in terms of I can't be available a set hours per day. If someone's happy for me to kind of do the work in my own time, then I can take that piece of work on. There's been lots of work that I've had to turn down because obviously there's a set deadline and I don't like to say to someone I can do that for them when actually I can't. So I rather signpost them to someone else who can do the work rather than try to make false promises, if you like. So I rather
that makes sense.
So at the moment I think 10 to 15 hours is quite comfortable for me to kind of fit into my busy schedule. Yes.
Yeah, okay. And in terms of what you do, is there a particular task that you think is, you know, like your sweet spot or something that you enjoy doing the most out of all the, you know, the activities and tasks that you can help people with?
My favorite is, I know it sounds like horrendous to other people, but actually is just inbox tidying. I actually love it. Sometimes it's just like, obviously it's confidential, whoever I have access to, but I love poking my nose into people's inboxes and say, oh, you went to XY country, that sounds interesting. But you actually learn a lot about people tidying their inboxes, and I actually love it. And people think, oh my god, you got 10,000 emails to file, but I actually really quite enjoy it. And it's like I do it in like an hour and a half slots each day, and then I go away and come back, and kind of that's how I motivate myself to keep going, because some people are like, that's like horrendous, why would you want to take on such a job? But I like doing that. And then I also like doing lots of research because I'm a bit nosy, so digging for stuff is what I like to do as well. So it's like if someone wants to find some stat on something, if it's out there, I will find it. So that's what I like to do also.
Really? Okay, so that's interesting. So some people will come to you and ask you to do specific research on anything. Is there an example that you could give that isn't going to give the game away?
I think the majority of people ask for research into companies, right? Because they obviously at some point want to market to them, so they just need to find whether they're the suitable company, they're the right company, who's they need to speak to, information, because obviously people want to grow their business and they need to find business to be able to do that. So a lot of my research projects have been one-off, digging into information about companies and a direct contact, if you like, of that company who they can actually approach and have a conversation with. So that's what I do.
Okay, cool. So you're obviously very active on LinkedIn. And, you know, since I've been using LinkedIn a lot more consistently, I've seen your posts daily. Yeah. And they're great. I love all the cake posts. I love all the talk about biscuits and about your hubby and your kids. It's great because, you know, it gives people an opportunity to get to know you. But one of the things I've noticed on LinkedIn over, you know, the last, 6 months or so, where there seems to be a lot more VAs on LinkedIn than there was previously. I have seen a little bit of VA bashing where people are, moaning about them because someone's hired them and they're responding. Someone's hired a VA and that VA is responding as that person on LinkedIn or whatever it might be. But I've seen, you know, a little bit of a little bit of negativity towards VAs. So I just was keen to see what have you noticed that and what your thoughts are on
it. Yes, I have, and I think it's a difficult position for a VA to be in, because obviously when someone hires them, they give them the task of what they want to do. And personally, I don't do it, respond as someone else. That's not a service that I offer. But it's difficult because someone's paying you to do a job, and then it's hard to say, I'm not going to do that job. So I think there's a lot of VA bashing for not a great reason, because people, all VAs are just doing what they've been told to do or what their job. So I understand there's two sides to the story. So the client, whoever's hiring us, needs to take the responsibility for asking us to do that job in the first place. And then our responsibility as the VA is, if it goes against what we believe in, then we shouldn't say yes. So that's how I feel about this whole VA situation. And I think the people that have VAs will understand that they've been asked to do a job and we do a good job, and they don't want us to stop doing that job. So that's another thing as well. So yeah,
totally agree. Another thing as well then, and you're I'm afraid, is people saying that the prices that VAs charge are, are too much. And now I don't prescribe to that. I think if you're offering a good service, and it's the value's in the service, right? If you're doing a good job, it doesn't matter. It's justifiable. So what's your opinion? Obviously, because you're a VA and you charge whatever you charge.
Yeah.
You must have you seen those posts as well? And have you got an opinion on it, really?
Yes, I have seen those posts, and I've been one of those people who've set up posts and posted a post with my rates on there and saying I do. I posted a post and set my rates on there, and actually got a bit of flack from someone to say it's a joke that I would pay you £30 an hour to look through my emails. And I was trying to explain to this person that I subsequently blocked, because I ain't got time to mess up my cake feed. To say it's all relative to what people value, to be worth their money and their time. So someone who's a multimillionaire, £30 an hour, to go off and do what they need to do and us to do the admin is a drop in the ocean. And if someone sees the value of, they need a bit of spare time, like 5 hours a week, to kind of go off and do something to grow their business, and they just need to make sure that their emails are being checked or whatever it is that's been done, then that's what a business owner should do, because they just need to be able to logically think where the areas that they need to spend a bit of money on, and where the areas that they don't need to spend the money, because obviously you don't want to waste your money. And if there's value to be added, and you as a business owner, if you need to grow something and you need a bit of a set of hands to actually do it, then I think £30 an hour or whatever VAs charge is money well spent, just for the peace of mind, knowing that you don't need to worry about something because someone's got it in hand. So that's what I think.
No, I totally get that, and I agree with it, because whoever it is that you might be helping, in an hour, if they made a big sale, then I'm sure it's going to be more than 30 quid in that you've charged them for doing the admin.
Yeah.
Whereas if they were doing the admin, they maybe wouldn't have made that sale.
No.
Or however long they have you through the course of a week. So it's all relative, isn't it?
Yeah.
It does.
And one of my posts that I highlight, basically, so for example, if you're a consultant and you're a one-person business, and you basically will charge £90 an hour to go and do a piece of work for someone, and actually, because you're stuck doing something in your business, like emails or whatever that you're stuck doing, and actually you don't have time to actually go and do that hour work, even after paying me, you would still earn £60 where you wouldn't have earned any money at all if you just stuck doing your emails rather than going out to be a consultant. So in my mind, it all kind of makes sense for someone to think about where the areas that they need support and whether their time costs more than my time. So to think
I'm with you. Don't worry. I'm on your side. I'm a recruiter, so we get a lot of passion on LinkedIn. I've got really thick skin. In fact, I like it. I think
after HR, I think recruiters also get
oh yeah, we're hated. But it doesn't matter. Does it? I'm still smiling. I'm crying inside, but okay. So another interesting, because you're on LinkedIn a lot. You're very active, and you do a bit of a mixed bag with the posts. Some of it's business related, some of it's family related, a lot of it's cake related. Related. So I'd just be interested to know, you know, in the time that you've been using LinkedIn and you've been a VA, has a large proportion of your work come from LinkedIn? Or not, or is there other places where you get your work?
A large proportion has been from LinkedIn, and people recommending me, people tagging me. So it's those people who think, oh, Anne's a VA. I remember her saying that she can do X, Y, and Z. So so LinkedIn is definitely a place that have brought in business for me. So and I think LinkedIn is a great platform to do that, and so I think spending the time is really, really worth it. I know it's quite scary to post regularly on LinkedIn. I know I was in that situation 12 months ago where I was like, what's my first post? What do I do? How do I write? So I basically fell into the cake writing post because I love cake, I eat it a lot, and then I was thinking, what do I need to talk about? And then I was thinking, cake, why not? People can talk about whatever, so why not cake? So that's how my posts of cake started. And
I love it. Well, I like a bit of cake. I like cake, and I like talking about cake. And you know, we're all working very differently to perhaps how we were a year and a half ago. And one of the things that I miss about being in an office is having a cup of tea, having a biscuit, and chatting to your colleagues. You know, when you have 5 or 10 minutes where you just chew the fat over work, football, girlfriends, boyfriends, troubles, birthdays, whatever it might be, stuff to lighten the mood. So your cake posts really resonated with me. So that's why I've been a keen follower. But something I picked up on, you said that people have tagged you in posts. Okay. So those people that have tagged you in posts, Anne, have they been people that have that you've worked for, or have these just been, the LinkedIn community because they've seen your posts?
LinkedIn community.
Amazing.
So and I'm super thankful to them, because obviously they understand that it's a tough gig running your own business, especially someone in my position where I can't take on full-time work because I work part-time. And so those people understand that it's just helping a fellow person out. If they see someone who needs a bit of support, all they simply do is just tag me in it. I take it from there. We have a conversation. Sometimes the project works out, sometimes it doesn't, but I always appreciate and thankful for those people that take the time to actually type my name into that post.
Yeah, that's amazing. I touched on, you touched on it there about the family, the family aspect, and something that I like about your posts is actually you do bring that element. It's not, you get people that say LinkedIn isn't Facebook, but I think we're all human at the end of the day, and LinkedIn's a great platform, and why can't we show that human element and our home life? And I think that's something that you do really nicely. You mentioned your hubby.
Yes.
I know it was his birthday yesterday. I don't know how old he is, and the cake looked amazing. But I really enjoy seeing that human element.
Yeah, and that's how I form relationships with those people who get involved in my posts. But I also look for posts that people, number one, starting out their business, because I think we all need that little bit extra support. But I also support those posts that are people who talk about their families, their struggles, their, you know, heartaches, their joys, hopeless romantic posts. So I always support those posts because I believe people should be themselves. It is a business platform, which is fine. But then I think without me being shown my side of my personality, I don't think I'll get to work with all these wonderful people that I'm working with, because they, you know, I would be just a statistic of, oh, there's another VA there. But showing the side of me that is like, it might be quite fun to work with
and resonates with other people that have maybe children or a husband or like cake.
Yes.
No, but I totally get it, and that's the old saying. It gets used a lot, but people buy from people, don't they? So if you're communicating in a way that resonates with the LinkedIn community, no wonder you get good responses, and no wonder you're getting tagged in people that are looking for help from a video. Like, it makes sense.
And I love learning about people. So the more people write about themselves, I was like, oh, I remember that from next time.
You're nosy.
Yes. So I love learning about people and being nosy. I think that's what it's all about, because you know, it's just that's how you form relationships. And for me, it's all about relationships, whether I'm working with you or whether I'm having a conversation with you, whether I'm doing a weird video with you in my lovely wig. It's all about relationships, isn't it? So, yes.
I know. Yeah. So are you a curtain twitcher then? So you're a bit nosy. So do you often get a slice of cake and have a little peek through the curtains to see what the neighbours are doing?
Our neighbours are pretty quiet, actually. So there's not much happening on our street. So yeah, I've lived here for nearly 8 years and not much has happened. We've had a couple of street parties and all that stuff, but not much happening. But yeah, I am nosy. I like to know what people get up to, what they're doing, what they're eating, what they're cooking, how many times a day I can lick my phone screen because it looks so yummy. So yeah.
I love it. And anyone that's listening to this and thinking, why has Anne got a wig on? I'll be honest, I kind of stitched her up a little bit, because Anne and I had been talking about having a chat for a little while, and Anne said she hasn't had a haircut, and I said, don't worry about it. I look dreadful as well. I look like Wolverine. And I said, look, we both put wigs on. And Anne turned up with her wig today, and I forgot mine. And it was going to be a good one as well. It's an Austin Powers wig, so it would have been good.
And
but you're a good sport.
I love this wig, actually. It's actually quite nice. I might keep it on for the rest of the day.
It suits you. You look like Ariel.
Yeah, I know. It looks quite nice, actually. And to hide my really bad hair underneath, I think it's better. The wig looks nicer than my real hair at the moment.
Have you left your hair, or have you let your hubby loose with the?
I posted about this, and everyone says no, he's going to mess up your hair. But I think he bought a pair of scissors now, so I think eventually he's going to chop my hair off. But but he's a bit of a slow coach, so it might grow another 10 inches before he gets around to cutting it. By then the hairdressers might open, so let's see.
I'm in a dilemma as well, because I'm like thinking, do I give myself a number 2 all over, or do I just grow a mullet like Kevin Keegan? That would look all right, wouldn't it? The Keegan mullet.
I think your hair looks quite good. I don't think it's bad at all.
That's only because I've glued it down, Anne. I've glued it down. Okay, cool. So just one last thing about LinkedIn then, because you've said that you've got all your business through LinkedIn, which is amazing, absolutely amazing. Round of applause to you, because I think from our conversation before, you've only been using it really for the last year, haven't you?
I have, and there was a period of time where I stopped for quite a while, but then I actually quite enjoy doing it now, and I think that's the key to LinkedIn. I think if anything's forced, then I don't think people put the heart into doing it, but I actually quite like it. And when I first started my VA business, I knew I had to do some kind of marketing and posting on LinkedIn, and it's like all my previous roles, that wasn't my comfort zone at all. I've always been in the background doing the things, humming in the background, getting things done. And actually being a poster girl for my own VA business is not something I was comfortable being doing at all. But then I thought you have to just do it, because otherwise you'll never get the business that you actually need to do. So I just started doing it, and then slowly, people just started engaging. I started to get to know people. Kind of, it turns into a bit of fun now, rather than, oh, it's just all about business or about finding business. It's just about getting to know people, having a chat, checking up people who kind of go missing or go to jail or get banned or whatever it is. It's just it's like a little community now. We just have a little chat, and we follow ourselves. Like, I follow people over to in Clubhouse. We follow each other back, and it's just little things like that. So it's all a bit of fun. Or I really quite enjoy it. So I get to meet people like you, for example, that I would never have get.
Lucky lady.
Yeah, never,
what a
never.
lady. But no, what you're saying is deadly right, because I've been on LinkedIn for 10 years. And it was only last year, because I started my business in February last year, that I started using it. I wouldn't say, I would say for me properly, where I started engaging with people and started writing posts. And it didn't come naturally, because I'm not really a social media kind of person. So I was on Facebook, I didn't really bother with it, and I actually ended up deleting it. So it's been a bit of a journey for me the last 12 months as well, because I was really cautious about posting and how I post and how I was coming across. Whereas now, I post it, and I don't, if people like it or they don't like it. Whereas before I'd worry about it, whereas I don't now.
And I think that's important for people to acknowledge, because at the beginning it's all about the metrics of how many likes and how many comments and how many people seen your posts. But if you get to a stage where you're comfortable with people, you're comfortable with your message, and just being okay if you get one like to whatever like, because there are people watching and listening and learning, and they don't actually engage with you, and they're the people that actually ultimately will bring business your way, even though they've never even said hello to you before. So people just need to understand there is a process of posting on LinkedIn or whatever social media platform it is. People just need to understand it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. You just have to put in effort. Whatever effort you put in, you get out of. So that's how I see it.
No, I totally agree. Well, I think that's probably a good point there to draw this to an end. I think we've covered a lot of topics there, and I'm sure that anyone that didn't know you know a lot more about you now, and your cake fetish, which I look forward to seeing more posts about your cake, by the way. So, and Lee, so if anybody wanted to get hold of you, just remind people what you do and the best way for them to get hold of you.
So basically, I'm a VA, and the best place to probably get hold of me is probably on LinkedIn, because that's where I'm most active. I do have a website, so you can look on there and just message me via that as well. But so I'm always on LinkedIn. So you can find me at all hours of the day if you're desperate to talk, to chat about work. So definitely here.
Great stuff. Cool. Well, and then from me, if there's any candidates or clients out there that are looking for data or cloud-related work, then again, contact me through LinkedIn. Thanks very much, Anne. Great seeing you.
Okay, bye.
Cheers. Bye.